Hello, everyone. Welcome to another amazing podcast of Purpose, Power, and Pleasure with Taneshia
and Malia.
Excellent. I'm so excited for today's discussion. We are really going to be diving in today and talking about something that has evolved so much over the years, love and relationships. So I'm excited to jump into that conversation. But before we jump in, Malia, how was your weekend?
I had such a fun weekend.
Oh,
And
good.
I feel like my weekend actually started, Friday night, which normally, Friday night is I'm home, I'm not doing nothing. But Raw Goddess was in town. And if you don't know Raw Goddess, folks, look her up. She's amazing. She has a new book, and this is not a paid promotion. But her new book is Intentional Ambition. So earlier this summer, I was at a book party with her, and she was in doing some stops in New England, and she was like, "Let's grab dinner," blah blah blah. And I had started reading her book, and it's just anyway, she's so amazing. So Friday
Wow.
night, that's what I'm gonna have energy for, right? So
Yeah.
amazing dinner, and the idea of intentional ambition is, and this is the part of the purpose. Matter of fact, we have to have her on. This is part
Yes,
of
we have to
the
have her
purpose
on.
of our the podcast, Pleasure Podcast, is intentional ambition. So you and I, we're very ambitious.
Yes, very.
But how much do we actually turn that inward and get intentional and love on ourselves and
Right.
say, I can build any career I want. So I'm going to make sure that that career comes, with this and that, right? That
Right.
I'm on a beach a week out of the month, that
Right.
I'm right, making these decisions, turning your ambition beyond just these capitalist things, which we're taught, and
Right.
they help us pay the bills, but how do you actually do it in a way that builds your soul? So
Love that.
Friday night, I'm still buzzing off of that energy. And then Saturday night, my dear, dear friend, like a brother to me, it was his birthday.
Oh.
So we went out, a few of us went out, and then he opened an art gallery in Central Square. So
Mm.
as you're thinking about living arts, right,
Yes.
this gallery is gorgeous.
Oh, I love that.
And I got to see Pro Black,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Ayana Mac, and
Wow.
Percy, and just a bunch of different, I felt like it was the Black artist cabal, a few folks.
Yeah. I love
Um,
that.
so that was wonderful.
Cool.
And then last night, my aunt, who is not by blood, but one of my
Okay.
mom's besties' sisters, who's when I moved to DC, I lived in her house, right? It's that kind
Okay.
of thing. So she was in town with her friend to see this woman, Leanne Morgan.
Oh.
And yeah, I guess she has a show now. She's from Tennessee. She's this middle-aged white woman, and that's sort of her shtick.
Okay.
And she was hilarious about it. She was,
Really? She a
yeah,
comedian?
I think I was the only woman. I might not have been the only woman of color in the place, but
Okay.
I was one of the very few. I didn't see any others. I don't want to say there weren't any others. I just didn't see any others.
Okay.
But her comedy was still very accessible, being married for 30 years, you know, having
Sure,
your
she has a
career
lot to tell.
taken at 50. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And that's why my aunt invited me. She was like, with what you're doing with Sunflower, this woman's going to be perfect. So we had a fun night. But yeah, all in all, I felt like my social calendar, I was like, oh, look
I
at me.
know. You're booked and busy.
Exactly,
You are booked and busy,
exactly.
Malia. Wow. Oh my God.
So
That's so
how was
cool.
your weekend?
It was good. Busy with the kids. They always have their activities and all their things, but we had a sleepover with Gigi, our middle daughter. She's 9. So her best friend came over and had a sleepover with us over the weekend. And then yesterday I actually did hot yoga for the first time. It was
Okay,
amazing with
sis.
the friends. And it
How did
Oh my
you
God.
get through?
So I
'Cause
thought that I was gonna actually feel because typically, like, if I get too overheated or if I'm doing movements that I have to, like, put my head down and up and do all those things, it starts to make me feel, like, dizzy or, like, weak, especially with the hot, like, intense hotness of it all, but, when I tell you it was so amazing and I felt so good after, my body felt so good. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't feel dizzy, I don't feel weak, I don't feel like all the other things that."
and the way you can stretch when you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
hot girl, like, were you like, "Oh,"
Oh,
like
yeah.
this
Oh, please. Oh, the instructor, he was amazing. Oh my God. It was this place in Brookline, down under in Brookline. And when I tell you, it was like an hour class, and he was on us like, move this, move that, change to this position, change. And it was my first time. I mean, I've done yoga, like I want to say once or twice before. Definitely not hot yoga, but I've done yoga once or twice before, but I typically do bar, which is like kind of similar, but this was like
but
way more
also not in
intense.
the heat. The heat
Not in the
changes
heat.
everything.
The heat was a whole different element, and so it was amazing though. I felt my body, just like my nose, like my sinuses, everything just felt so good. I was like, "Oh my God, I felt so good." It was amazing. I'm definitely gonna do it again. It was
Yes,
great. I
yes.
was dripping, like
Oh,
dripping,
yeah. No,
like
I was gonna ask how soon, like, because when I did it, I have to say, like, 20 minutes in, I was
mhm.
like, "I'm gonna die." It, like, took about
Yeah,
20
I definitely felt like that, but I
and
just
then
pushed
I
through it.
didn't die,
Right, yeah, you didn't die,
and then
and
you
I
break
just
through
pushed
to
through
the
it.
other side.
Yes, because I was like, I need to I like, I'm gonna and two, for
Did
me,
you
like
feel the same cycle? Like, did you have a point where you were really like, "Well, my friend's just gonna have to pick up my dead body off this floor," and,
I
like
did. I did, but for me, like, it's all, like, mind over matter, so I was like I was seeing, like, him push through and, like, he's showing off. I was like, "Oh, you're such a show off." He was doing all these things. I was like, "Oh my God." Splits, handstands, when we would I was like, "Really?" But, like, when I tell you, it was like seeing everybody around me just keep going, it actually motivated me to be like, "Okay, Tanisha, just keep going." Like, I felt like I wanted to, like, give up at a certain point, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna keep going. And I got through it and it was incredible. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, no.
I'm gonna be back to do it again because it was
And
really
in the
good.
winter too, because
Yes.
Aaron well, actually, this guy I was dating, like, he started doing it when he was playing football, and it was just, like, really good, so that's the first
Mm.
time I did it, and,
Oh,
and, like, that's why I had to push through because, like,
yeah.
I had
Right.
to look cute.
Right.
But, and then Erin got me started going in the winter because she was like, "It's the perfect place to get warm
Right, right. Yeah.
in these cold New
No,
England
it
days."
was hot, hot. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sauna, like
No, you, like, walk out with no coat. You're like, "I'm
yeah,
just
it was.
gonna"
Oh
Yeah,
my God, because at first I was like, "Oh my God, we're actually gonna do this?" With it being this hot and everybody was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, like, let's see." But I already knew, like, I already told myself, "Tanisha, if you start feeling weak or like, start feeling dizzy or anything, just stop and just lay there."
right.
And I told my friend too, I was like, "I'm just gonna stop and lay here if I start to feel like weak." But I actually felt good and I got through it. It was
Well,
really
see,
good.
and that also is a good reinforcement for you
Yes.
that, like, you're better than you think.
Yes. Yeah.
Like whatever spots of dizziness you may have had, those things,
Yes.
are in the past, they're
Mhm.
not active,
Right.
right? Like,
Yes.
and so you're
I
not,
felt good.
like you use the word weak, right? Like,
Mhm.
no, like you didn't feel weak, just like
Right,
you
right, I didn't.
anywhere
Yeah,
else, right?
I
And
was
if
very
you did,
strong. Yes, yes. So that was that was the weekend.
yes. Okay, so I don't know if you had to do any of this over the weekend, but question of the week, how are you preparing for Halloween?
Malia, my kids wanna do all the things. My kids, they know no limit. Every time we leave the house, they wanna spend money. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah,
Like, they have no limit, like, "Oh, can we go here? Oh, can we go there?" Especially Gigi, my middle child. Gigi is literally she's just like me. When I say just like me, everything. Like she literally already told me so many times, like, "Mommy, I'm taking over your business when I grow up. Like I'm literally taking over your business." She wants to act, she wants to model, she wants to sing, she wants to dress up. She puts lip gloss on every morning for school. When I tell you, Gigi is something else. She literally, she could have her own YouTube channel. Everyone literally that knows her, they come to me like, why isn't she on TV? Like, what? She is just full of personality and energy. But the kids, so we're having a big Halloween party here at the house. It's on a Friday this year. So we're so excited about that because typically it's like during the week and the kids have school and they, can go out for a little bit, eat a little candy, and then they have to get in the bed. So we're going to make it like a weekend thing. My sisters are going to come with their kids and like we'll invite their friends. And so we're doing the whole big party, but we did Halloween costume
And
shopping.
so what are the costumes?
So yeah, so Adriana, our oldest, she's 12. Adriana is the plague doctor. It's like a plague doctor. It's a very humbly how you look. So if you guys look at the
I mean,
plague
listen,
doctor, it's
she's
like
a
a
very important role in history. Is
yes, it's
is
very
that the one that
scary.
has the long nose?
Yes, yep, it has a long beak nose, and so she has like this hood and this like big cape, and she has black gloves,
And
and
so did
she
she
has a
just get
lantern.
reincarnated from the 1600s, or is this like in a movie now?
No, she just Adriana loves history. Like when I say loves history, like she loves anything
Because that is
history.
such a specific
Yeah.
historical.
Uh-huh. It's hilarious. When she came to me and said she wanted to be that, I was like, Adriana, wow. Like, what is happening? And then she showed me the pictures of the costume and everything. And I'm like, this is intense. Okay. But we got all the costume, everything. She actually is so funny. She went to a Halloween party for her school last week. I think it was like last Thursday. She won first place with that costume. And she got a $20 Starbucks gift card. She was so happy because my kids love Starbucks. She was so happy, but she won the costume contest. But it is like a really detailed costume. And we have the lantern for her, like everything. It's like very detailed. Yeah. So Adriana is the plague doctor. Gigi is strawberry shortcake, which is so Gigi. It's so girly. It's so furly. She has like the cute tights and like the red and white
Right,
dress
the
and
gingham dress
the
and
tam. I got her like this all red tam hat. Like the
strawberry
berets.
shortcake, by the way, she was my girl when I was
Oh yeah,
growing
I love
up.
strawberry shortcake. Strawberry shortcake is like everywhere now in stores for kids. When I tell you the clothing,
Right.
bows,
You know
socks,
why? Because they know our like,
everywhere.
the minute you saw it, you're like, "I'm buying this for my child," 'cause it
Oh
like,
yeah, so
I am
cute.
so happy strawberry shortcake has made a come.
Yes, Gigi is like she got her whole costume, her whole getup is so cute. And then Jojo, he's 5, so Jojo's gonna be a big pizza. He's gonna be a big cheese pizza slice. So it's like it goes over his head, and he's gonna wear like all black, and then we have like the big pizza that
The
will
big
go over
slice,
his
right.
body. Big,
And
he
so
loves
did
pizza.
he
Got him a big
like,
slice.
and we did right, did he come up with that because he loves pizza?
He did. So it was either pizza or waffles because he loves waffles too. So I said, Jojo, which one do you want to be? Do you want to be a pizza? Or do you want to be waffles? He said, a pizza. I said, okay, so we're going to be pizza. And so I just
Perfect.
went out and got all the Halloween candy over the weekend. I went to the store and got all this candy, like $150 worth of candy. It was ridiculous. And then so I have the candy like in the dining room, like just sitting there waiting for me to put it in the bowl. And so every morning, Jojo, he comes up to me. He says, Mama, Halloween candy, trick or treat. And so he puts the candy up and he gives it to me. And I was like, Jojo, well, we're gonna do this for other houses. Like, we'll give it to other people, but you're gonna go to the house and say trick or treat. So he's like, okay, because
Right, right,
typically, like, he'll do trick or treating a little bit, but then after a while, he's like ready to go back home, and he'll
right.
pass out
He's
the
like,
candy,
"I
but he
already
doesn't want
got
to be
enough
out all night.
booty. Let me get home." He's like, "I already got enough,
Exactly.
you know,
Like, I'm good.
free candy. Let me
Yeah,
go home."
he'll be good
The
after a
older
while.
he
After like
gets,
a little while, he's fine. So, but,
exactly, the
but yeah,
older he gets, he'll get more because that's when you realize, "Wait, this is my like,
yeah.
I'm making, like, money," like,
Oh
for
yeah.
a kid, candy is money because that's what
Oh,
you wanna spend your
absolutely.
money on anyway.
Oh yeah.
So,
But the
like, yeah.
costumes, can I tell you? The costumes, and I know our listeners can identify with this with kids that are buying costumes. The costumes are a ridiculous amount of money. They're like
Well
35,
well,
$45
because they're
for a couple of
so
hours.
much now. Like,
It's too
and,
much.
like, because we had these I mean, at least I'll talk about like, there was a couple of Halloweens that, like, I don't know how like, maybe it was at Goodwill or something, but I had,
Right.
I had this amazing caterpillar costume that,
Really?
like, I don't know how we came across it, 'cause my mom was a single mom, so, like, most of my
Right.
Halloweens were those plastic outfits
Mhm.
with the face, with the rubber
Yes.
band that would snap
Yes.
halfway through
Yep.
the thing, and you would
Yes.
cry, and your mom would have to retie it, and,
Right.
like, you would go off,
When
you
I tell
know?
you, oh, please, me and my sisters, we would like we were so imaginative though. Like we were very creative kids. So like we would make all of our costumes. Like there were some years I remember having like an actual costume from the store, but majority of the time we would make our costumes. Like I remember one year we were TLC. One year we were what were we? Baskin Robin. We did PB
Yeah.
and J. Like we did like different things, but we would find things in our house and we would just
That's
do
it, to
it.
just make it, and that's,
Yes.
and
Like we
that's,
were a
like, I
lawyer. Like
think,
I was a lawyer one year. My sister was a judge. Like
well, because that's the other thing too, is you used to be
be
able to just have
creative.
regular ass costumes.
Exactly.
Like, now
Now,
you need to have
mm-mm.
the accurate Black Panther,
Right, right.
blah, blah, and you can't just put yourself in a
Right,
garbage
your
bag and call
interpretation
yourself
of
a
what that looks
hobo,
like. Please,
right?
no, I
Like,
told my kids, I was like, you guys, I was like, we'll buy these costumes, but I was like, in the years going forward, we're gonna be coming up with some like creative ways to do
well,
this
and
because
also keep
no,
all of them, because then maybe you can mix, strawberry shortcake can become
right,
Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, just,
exactly, yes,
or from
yes,
The Wiz, right? Like,
absolutely.
you
I'm
could
there for it.
start Sarah had a bin, and all the moms, like, it was like just all the moms every Halloween, they would just throw the costumes in a bin.
Oh, that's a
And then
good
every
idea.
year they would go, because
They
it
would
was
just pick
also
through
like
it, yeah.
small, big, right? Like, as
Oh,
the
that's a really good like a Halloween like swap, like a costume
That's what it
swap.
was, right, and, like,
I'm
they would,
doing that next
and
year.
every year, and Sarah was the keeper because she had this was New York, so she had the room,
Yeah.
the room to keep the bin, and then every year, the moms would come together and just
Halloween
go
swap. Oh,
through.
Malia, that's such a great idea. I'm doing that next year, I swear to God.
Yeah,
I'm
and,
doing
like,
it with my
have your
neighbors.
sister, right, exactly, your neighbor, like, you just
Mhm.
tell the moms this year, "Let's do a Halloween costume swap."
Yeah, because the
Because like
prices
you
for
said, it's
costumes
for
are ridiculous.
2 freaking hours.
Yeah,
Like,
so
if
and I
we
told the
all
kids, I'm
spend
like,
$100 every 3 years,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because 'Cause we're doing the
yes.
swaps,
Yeah, I was like, let's be creative, guys, but they weren't
or
trying to hear
maybe
it
you
this year,
just
so
need like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a crown because 'cause we're gonna use this as the princess for the," because that was the thing, you used to be able to be regular. Like, I remember, like,
yes.
one year, like, I was Cleopatra, and I put on
Mm.
my mom's old disco dress.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
I
this
love it.
golden
I love
array.
that. I love that.
I put
Yeah,
on
that's
one of
what
my
we would do
mom's
all the
straight
time.
hair wigs,
Yes.
like, we got me a little snake that we, like, taped onto my head.
Right, right. What happened
You
to
couldn't tell
that?
me nothing, I
I'm about
was
to bring it back.
fabulous.
I am about to bring it back because it doesn't make any sense. Like I
Exactly.
can't like I just can't fathom why they cost like I understand that it's being made, but like I
No,
just
but
don't want
it's,
and it's everyone's preference. I just don't feel like it's a good
listen,
investment to pay that much money
that
for a
part.
Halloween costume. I
You
just don't.
you are not being cheap because you all are not.
No, and I'm not cheap. I'm not a cheap person at all. Ask
You are
anybody. I'm
not.
not cheap.
No, no, I'm
I
saying,
just yeah.
I'm telling the audience,
Yes.
this isn't on, like,
I just
Tanisha's
can't.
children have the fabulousness, but like you said, it's the value. It's like little kids' clothes. Like, I'm all into, like, the swap
Yes.
because they grow out of it so quick.
Yes.
It's not like,
Yes.
it's not, and, like, yes, maybe you wanna buy a few pieces because 'cause they're cute as hell, whatever,
Right.
but, like, for a majority of their
Mm-mm.
T-shirts and whatever, just take them from your friends or from Goodwill or
Oh yeah. We give all of our things away. I have actually every month I have Goodwill come and pick up clothing from us and toys, everything. And they're coming tomorrow. I have
Yes.
them come to my house and we have bins and bags full of clothes and toys, everything. And I tell the girls, if we get something new, you got to give something away.
That's what
I
my
always
mom
tell them
used to
that.
say.
Yeah.
That's what my
And they'll
mom
be like,
used to
"Mommy, but I
say.
don't want it." I'm like, "Yeah, you need to give something. You're not wearing it anyway. Another kid could use it. You need to
Exactly,
give
you
it
need
away."
to get used to, and now I do that.
Yes.
Like, after I got all the clothes for the book tour, which were, like,
Mhm.
my suits, like,
Yes.
and then I went in and I was like, "Okay, let me take some of my," like, my like, what,
Yeah, like
what
the
was
nice
my
things.
good suit,
Yeah.
because now I have my bespoke Stephanie suit. So like,
Mhm.
now what I considered my good suits, my anti like, I put that stuff in
Right.
Goodwill and was like, let other folks have it.
Exactly.
So, well,
Yes.
I am looking forward to seeing the pictures of Halloween.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cute.
It's gonna be so much fun. Yes, I love it. So I'm just going to see Sinners. And I was thinking actually about because like Wanelia, Amy, like
Mhm.
a few of us, we have a few of us that are gonna go. And so I was actually thinking about dressing up from the era, maybe, doing
Yes.
something like a little 20s flair or
Oh,
something.
yeah, Malia, that would be so cute. Do you have
Right?
a
Why
dress?
not? So I have a couple of
Okay.
like 20s style dresses,
Good, okay.
like that have sleeves, because that's the other thing. But
Yeah.
then I was like, well, maybe I go as I always call her the divine feminine because I forget her name, but
Oh.
the woman who could do like the magic and the spells. Um, I like, is her Mary or is the almost white lady Mary?
Wait, I don't know who no, I don't know who this is.
She's the one who like Nate was like, "Oh, you're a vampire," and then she had everyone make. Anyway,
Yeah, but
um,
that's who you wanna go as?
well, because she's more
You were
like of
thinking
a
of
hippy dippy dress.
okay, okay. Mhm.
So my thinking was I could put more layers on to stay warm,
Right.
because it is not
So you're thinking is staying warm, that aspect of it is
that
okay.
I'm thinking that I'm gonna be going to get dinner. I'm gonna be
Right.
going to a movie.
Yeah, oh, that's nice.
So yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's
and
so cute.
so
I
I'm
love
so
that.
glad that they're doing Sinners for Halloween. I think it's a
Yes.
great, great film.
Hope it doesn't rain. It's
Oh
supposed
my
to
god.
rain.
Well,
I'm like,
is it really
"Ooh."
supposed to rain?
It says like 70% now. But I'm really hoping it changes because the weather changes all the time. So I'm really hoping. I'm like, this is the first Halloween that we all will be together, like, all their friends and like all my sisters and their kids. Like the first time we will ever do this because it's usually not on a Friday. So I'm like, please, rain, don't mess things up for us.
Exactly.
But
Like,
yeah,
if you gotta rain, rain during the day, but give the evening till the chill.
exactly. Yes, let the evening
Rain in the
be
morning.
exactly. Yeah.
So
I'm
that's what we're hoping for.
yeah.
Well, listen, I don't know if there's any way to do a good sequitur to our topic, but let's deep
Yeah.
dive, sis.
I know. Let's deep dive, Malia.
You know what we should do? We should find some fun deep dive music, because all I have to do is put
Oh,
it on and hit a little button. So let's go back to the
okay.
library. Everyone, when we were
Yeah,
coming up with our theme music, Tanisha sent like a bunch of really
I did.
fun. So we have our library of music. But so
Ah.
deep dive, girl, love and relationships. And I almost feel like, like you have, I know it's not easy and it's not whatever, but you found your one very early in life.
I did. Yes.
And so, in so many ways, like
Yes.
you were blessed on some of what we're talking about. But again, love is hard and all of
It
that stuff
is.
too.
It is. And
So,
marriage is hard. It's
right,
compromise.
just
It's
because
so
you
many
find the
things.
one easy,
Right.
right? But there's been an evolution, sis. So, what I want to do is I want to give you some statistics to
Okay.
talk about what is this evolution, right? Like, because I
Yeah.
think, you and I are exactly the same age.
Mhm.
And, I think we did what we wanted to do, like whether we were raised at that time or not, but we can admit like we were raised at a time where getting married was a thing that
Mhm.
people could naturally ask you about,
Right.
and that
Yes.
you should feel some type of way about, and that that's something that you should want. And I
Mhm.
think even like LGBTQ marriage, right? Like
Yes.
this idea, in my sex therapy class, it was all this monogamous sex
Mhm.
that we
Mhm.
were working through, right?
Right.
Like, so this idea of marriage is something that has shifted. And so
Mhm.
here's the first statistic.
Okay.
And I found this statistic. Wait, let me give you all the citation.
Okay.
Um, so this one is from Fortune Magazine, The Story Exchange, Times of India. All of these are the places I'm about to read these different stats.
Okay.
52% of women are single and separated in 2021, with projections suggesting as many as 45% to 45% of women 25 to 44 could be single and childless by 2030.
Wow.
So women are not choosing marriage, or if they are choosing marriage, there's a point of choosing themselves. Now, what
Mhm.
these studies are saying is that there's a lot of reasons for this, and this is
Mhm.
what we're going to chop up. So the first is financial independence,
Uh-huh.
right? Like we can now live on our own. Although, as someone who doesn't have double income, I have to say, if there's one regret I have about not getting married, if there's like
Yeah.
two things where I'm like, oh, marriage could be nice,
Yeah.
would be like the just having D at the home, like that's
Mhm.
just always nice.
Mm.
And the
I
second
can
thing would be double income,
right. Yeah.
right? Like, so, but
Financial
women
stability, yeah.
exactly, but women
Mhm.
can get that, I'm living proof, women can get themselves financially stable.
Absolutely.
So they're saying that's one of the things. The
Mhm.
other thing they're saying are actually like abuse, like, and I think maybe this is tied to financial independence too, but
Yeah.
women now are leaving relationships that they would once stay in. And I think that's also a part of this conversation of like, women, you don't have to put up,
Right.
like my grandmother's from a time where my grandmother, now she would never have put up with it, right? And she told me you have to marry someone who loves you more than you love them.
My mother
And,
always said that. My
right?
mother
Like,
always said that.
right,
Yeah.
and listen, they were in 64 years of marriage, and one of the
Yeah.
last things my grandfather said to my grandmother, I don't know what it was, but she was just like, "Oh, you dirty dog," and she, like, tucked him in, gave him this little kiss on his forehead, and
Oh.
he died a few hours later.
Oh my God,
But
really?
yeah, like, and when my mom
Oh,
told me
that's
that
so
story, my mom
sweet.
was like, it was so adorable. She was like, I walked out to like give them their privacy, like, because he was obviously being a little randy, even though, like,
Oh my
I know.
goodness,
So, like, and so
Malia.
after 64 years, he still died loving his woman.
That is oh,
Um,
wow.
but I say that all of that to say that, like, there were other like there was like the family gossips of cheating or whatever for, the neighbors or, and
Mhm.
my grandmother would always say, well, as long as he comes home, I mean, like as if like that was the
Mm.
accept, like
That was
as long as
that was.
his check goes to her. So
Right.
what is she, right? Like, or
Yeah.
she would say, but she wakes up and his boots are by the bed, right? Like
Wow.
there were all these
I
sayings.
know, which is like and I think that, like we said, it was the times, like, back then, that's the way women and just people looked at relationships and, like, what they stayed in. I definitely remember stories of, like, my mom telling me stories of my grandmother and my grandparents, and the women, I feel like back then didn't feel like they had a voice. There was no equality. There was no, so it's like, okay, we suffer through this because this is our stability. Like, where are we going to go? And I feel like, people, if they were to go somewhere else to try to do something else, they would be shunned. Like, oh my God, you left your husband? Like, what are you doing? And so I feel like we have evolved so much with, our careers and our choices. 51% of women are the earners in the household nowadays. And so I feel like, there's just been so much more independence. And I feel like also women don't want to feel held down. And so if you're in a relationship where you feel like your significant other is holding you back from your dreams or not allowing you to be yourself in ways and all these things, we don't want to feel restricted. And so I feel like there's just so many dynamics and aspects to the reasons why it looks like this now, where people don't want children, they don't want to be married, and all those things. And I just feel like there's definitely been a shift. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and people have choices now.
Yeah.
And I know for myself, like, I see it, it's so much more acceptable. Now, not
Yeah.
that I still don't get that question,
Mm-hmm.
but what's funny is I get it from people our age or older. Like, the young
Mm.
women don't question my choice.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
young women aren't like, "Girl, aren't you lonely?" Like, they're
Right.
more like, "Thank you, auntie," like,
Mm-hmm.
show me that there's a path, and I think especially because, like and with my nieces, like, I have one niece, and, we talked a little bit about how she didn't think she wanted to have kids, and,
Mm-hmm.
meanwhile, she's 14, right? Like,
Oh God.
but also, I'm like I looked at her and I was like, "And that's okay."
Yeah.
I was like, "And if you ever decide you change your mind," I said, "For me,
That's your
like,"
choice.
I said, "What
Yeah.
my out that I gave myself is," I said, "If ever I decide I want children, I can adopt."
Right.
I was like, "'Cause I can even adopt an itty bitty little baby." There are
Right.
children in this world that need homes. It doesn't have to be me
Absolutely.
anoint.
Yeah.
I think, like, coming at it from with folks too, being like, "I don't hate men."
Right.
And there have been men in my life that I have loved and that I still love very deeply, right?
Yes.
Like a lot of my male friends are, men I've dated in the past. And like my mother and like my generation older than me thinks that's the weirdest thing. And right.
Really?
And because they're like, well, if you have like, what do you just say? You're hanging out with your ex-boyfriend? Like,
Right.
and I'm like, but we
Mm-hmm.
haven't had sex in 20 fucking years. Like it's not,
Right.
you
But
know,
no, but I think that that's a good thing that you're able to like keep that relationship and not be like, weird or, it wasn't something that obviously maybe when you broke up, it was something that was like, okay, I'm done with you. Maybe you're upset about it, but you're able to get through it and get over it. Cause I feel like I think that that's actually a good thing to have a healthy relationship, even with people that you break up with. It doesn't all
well,
have to be
right.
drama and bad.
And I
Like
don't have to
there's a,
like,
there's a mature way to do it.
and if you really like, now let me tell you, that's not everyone, right? Like there
Oh,
are some
absolutely not.
folks
In
that
the
I was
majority of the
like,
time, it's
oh,
like
that was a miss,
right.
but
Mhm.
like thinking, like, as I think back now, my first boyfriend in college was at my house last week having dinner with my folks.
Wow.
Like he and I are basically like brother and sister right now.
Wow.
Like,
That's amazing.
like, yeah, but so this is what I have to say about it. Like, I really loved these men,
Mhm.
right? Um, and so because I have that, and I realize that with this, one person I have in my life right now that I have been in love with,
Mhm.
like he and I have loved each other for 30 years. Oh, no,
Wow, Malia.
not that old. Let's say 25, because I don't wanna get the math, but,
Okay.
like, but, like, a basically, after I broke up with Matt, he was, like, my next love, right? Like, so
Okay.
Matt was my college boyfriend, right? Like,
Okay.
and so, and there's 2 men in my life in particular, um, but I'm like, I'm actually gonna stop naming these men.
Right, right, right. Mhm.
So I know
Mhm.
Matt don't have a girlfriend right now, so whatever,
Right.
like that's fine. But so no, so I have like this one person in my life that, and like we've come to this realization that like we are soulmates, but we cannot be together. Like the be together part fucks it up.
Okay, so what messes that up for you? That part of it, being together part.
We're both far too independent. Like we can get on each other's nerves really, really quick in
Okay.
really, really deep ways. Like
Okay.
so he's also like it's one of the reasons why like we're so connected. Like I love his brain, but he's like this brilliant activist, like
Mhm.
this has
So
been a
strong
part of some
opinions.
very large movements.
Mhm.
And so yeah, he has strong opinions, I have
Mhm.
strong opinions.
Right. Mhm. Alpha, 2
Um,
alpha.
right. And
Mhm.
so we also love to talk about things like politics and stuff, like, it's part of what attracts us. So
Yeah.
then when all of a sudden and we agree on a lot, but then when especially when we were younger,
Uh-huh.
when we would disagree,
Uh-huh.
but there were also other, other things too, but now so we hadn't seen each other for, like, 15 years.
Wow.
And then we randomly ran into each other in Penn Station, girl, 2 years ago.
Really?
And yeah. And so we've reconnected. But what's so beautiful about it is because we're both grown, you know what I mean? Like we
Mm-hmm.
both live our lives.
Right.
He, doesn't live, he lives in Puerto Rico. He
Mm-hmm.
comes to
Oh,
Boston like once a quarter to do some of
okay.
his work. And
Okay.
so we get to spend a couple days together.
Well, that's nice.
It is because that's how we were supposed to be, and like 15 years ago, if this had happened even 10 years ago, I would
Mm-hmm.
have been like, so I hope to make him my boyfriend and that, but
Right.
I was like, wait, no, this is what it's supposed to be. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've realized. Like, I have another ex that we're very good friends. We were friends before we started going out.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, unfortunately, that does make his partner uncomfortable, so we're, like, not friends
Okay.
in the same way, and,
Okay.
like, that makes me really sad, like, again,
Yeah.
I respect it because I want his relate you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, that ain't me, like,
Exactly.
so,
Right.
like,
Yes. Yes.
it like, whatever, but, yeah, I think for me, it's just that, like, for some reason, we had this love for each other, so we can still have it for each other and not have
Right.
it be intimate, sexual.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question. So, how do you balance independence with intimacy? Like, how do you balance that?
So for me, right? Like, and I'm
Mhm.
saying this is for me.
Right.
And I was raised by a feminist woman, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
we talked about on the last, right? Like,
Yeah.
so for me, independence, like, is what I am, and especially now, like, I'm
Yeah.
40, right? Like, my 401, like, my retirement is set, right? Like, I did all that,
Right.
right? Like, so you can't take that.
Right.
Um, but it also means that, like, I try to be very open,
Mhm.
about my expectations, right? Because, like right now, what I am looking for, and it could be a few, right?
Mhm.
But I'm looking for respectful,
Right.
loving companionship.
Yes.
And that does not mean it has to be in my house, like, and I think now also, like, maybe I could have done it a little easier when I was younger. A big enough house, yes, like definitely
Mhm.
not my place, right? Like,
Mhm.
but I'm the I lived with Matt and I lived, but again, we were 19. Like Matt and I relationship is like,
Oh, okay,
you know
okay.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, so he
Yeah.
and I moved in together, but like that, we like broke up and became like the party house, like within
Mhm.
3 months of us moving in together. But I did move in with this guy, and then, obviously it didn't work or whatever, and that was the first time. And I ended up needing separate bedrooms. And we slept in
Mm.
separate bedrooms. And that was something that was really hard for him because he, of
Yeah.
course, took it as that meant something.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why, I mean, because we had a two-bedroom, and because he snored,
Okay.
he moved around.
Okay.
I need to sleep.
Right, right,
Like, I
right.
wake up in the
It just
morning,
wasn't
I have
comfortable
to
for you
work.
anymore.
It
Yeah.
was not comfortable, and so when he started pushing back, and because, like, at first, like, I would just wake up and just go to the guest bedroom and
Mhm.
just sleep, and then he would wake up and he'd be like, "I thought you fucking left, like, what the fuck?" And I'd be like, "Yo, like, I'm like, you're snoring," and he's like, "Well, well, if we're together, whatever." So then I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna be the only one up," so then I would elbow him when he would snore,
Right, right.
and then
Oh
finally he was like,
god.
"Go sleep in the bed, I want a good night's sleep."
Mm.
Exactly.
Mm. Mm.
Exactly, sir.
Oh my god.
But I think maybe that's also why I don't have a man, right? Like, but I'm at this age now where, like, a better night's sleep is better than being with a man who can't handle me sleeping in another bed.
Right. Right.
And so, but
But I
also
also
I'm
think
48,
that
I didn't want kids, right?
right.
Like, so
But I also think too, like if you're and I understand all those things, it's snoring, all that stuff, and you don't like the way he's moving around and things like that. But I do think that if you're in a relationship, sleeping in another room, there is a disconnect there. And it's an emotional disconnect and there's a physical disconnect there. And I feel like that is just something that I could see his standpoint on like, why would you sleep in another room? Get him a mask. Get him one of those snore masks or whatever. There's different things, that could, take place. But I feel like when you remove yourself from the bedroom and you're in a different space, it does feel like, okay, there's a disconnect here. Does she want to be with me? What is really happening?
totally right. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm
And
not.
maybe you didn't. Maybe you really just were over it and you
No,
just
I was,
didn't
and
want
like,
to.
well, what I tried to say is, I was like, I tried to make it like, I was like, this is a class thing because wealthy people have their own bedrooms.
Wait, who has their own bedrooms?
Wealthy people, like the queen don't sleep
Oh,
next to
oh my
Philip.
God.
The queen did not sleep next to Philip. They did not cuddle.
Mm,
They had separate bedrooms, even on the
I
train.
can
I saw, but I'm also
wow.
saying this.
Okay.
What you are saying is
So
absolutely
kings and
right for
queens,
someone.
stuff like this.
Like, I mean, and probably other people, right? Like, I mean, who
Okay,
knows? I
okay,
was just
yeah.
trying to
No,
make that
I've
the
definitely heard
point.
of this before. So this is not anything new. I've
But
heard this before.
but my point is though, I think
Yeah,
like there is this conversation, like you said, like I respect it, right? Like, and
right.
I love the cuddle parts, right? Like I
Yeah,
love listen, I say this to my mother all the time because she and my stepdad sleep in the same bed. I can hear his snoring.
that is
And I'm like, I
hilarious.
don't know how you do this.
Right, right.
Like, I can't, like, I have friends' houses who if Jared, I'm gonna send this snippet to Jared for him to be like, it's absolutely true.
Hilarious.
I have slept at my boy Jared's house, woke up in the morning, been like, I'm getting a hotel, looked at his girl, like, I don't know how you do this.
Right. She's so used to it.
Exactly.
But
Like,
Jared, it sounds like he needs like a mask. That like
I
they
think
have
he's
so
on
many things now for
CPAP
sleep
now. I
apnea.
think he's on CPAP now. But
Okay,
this
yeah,
was
they have so
before
many
we
things that
even
can
had
help.
CPAP that I had to
Okay, okay.
figure
Right,
that.
exactly, right. This was before, yeah.
But, so, like, again, like,
Yeah.
what you're saying is real, and what I'm
And
saying
what
is
you're saying is real
and
too.
so it's like,
Absolutely,
how
because
do
you
we
need your
find
sleep
that
too.
balance?
Right. Yes.
And I think, like, when you're saying balancing independence and intimacy, like, this is a place that I found to be difficult,
Right.
right? Like, when I was living with someone and, like, because my independence is I'm like, "Babe, we can cuddle, but once I wanna sleep, like, why are you taking that person?" Like, that just like, what you're saying, once one of my
Yeah.
girls explained it to me because I didn't hear it when he was saying it,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
probably also because I was tired from having snoring in my ear
Exactly
all
right. You were
night.
probably exhausted.
Like, I was like, "Yeah, I totally get that." And that's not it for me,
Right.
right? Like, for
Exactly.
me, I love
Yeah.
bedroom cuddles, and once the hot breath starts coming on my ear, I'm irritated.
I am so done. Okay. Absolutely. Well, you know what? Well, this is okay. This is what I want to talk about because I definitely want to talk about the digital age and like how people are finding love too nowadays. So like I like to dive into that and like talk about like dating apps, DMs, and everything in between. But over 30% of US adults use dating apps. 12% of them have like a longtime partner. They found their longtime partner on like an online app or something like that. Have you tried any of the dating apps? Do you get, the DMs, like all that stuff? Like what does that look like?
Yes, sis. Let's talk
Okay.
about the dating apps
Okay.
because first off,
Because I've heard so many dating apps. I'm like, there's a lot of dating
no, there's
apps.
a lot of dating apps, and the same catalog is on a majority of them. So just
Oh,
know
okay. So it's like the
so
same
you
people on repeat.
see,
Yeah.
yeah, you see Jerome on Hinge, you
Oh,
see
not Jerome.
Jerome.
That is
I'm
hilarious.
just trying to pick a name. And by the way,
Right.
where you are, okay, so let's take a step back. So first of all, I think it's probably like 30%, but it's gotta be more because like every single person has just tried at least once, right? Like,
Hmm.
so anyway, the first time I tried, it was like very overwhelming because you have all men in a catalog sorted by things like age,
Right.
like but vibe
The
is
choice
not something
overload, the
that can
burnout
so it's
of it.
choice
So
over.
that's what I hear about. Like I hear about the burnout and like there's too
And
much. Like it's
then
too much.
I don't know what it is about 2025, but motherfuckers just want to text, girl. Motherfuckers just want to text
Really?
ever and ever and ever. And they'll text. So, okay, I'll give you two examples from two different points. Like, let's say,
Please, yes.
but over the last, since COVID, okay, so this is COVID date, right? So, like, like over the last 3 years, I'm not going back
Mhm.
to. So, a couple of examples. So, one, I like Bumble because you have to do the outreach. Like, it's not like they can't just jump into your DMs.
Oh, okay.
So I jumped on and like this one guy, how are you? Whatever. Like, right, we connect, we start talking.
Mhm.
I think it was the fourth or fifth exchange, right? So you figure
Uh-huh.
hi is the first two,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like
Yeah.
he says, you look like you have great nipples. I'd love to clamp them.
Malia.
So now I have to unmatch, right? And that's just
If I
one, but
had pearls
still,
on, I would clutch my pearls.
right, exactly.
What? So, okay, so a lot of them they're on there just to look
And
pretty.
again, that's cool.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
also like if you came at it different, because like on the apps, I'm not looking for marriage, right?
Right,
But what
right,
did I
right.
say? I'm looking for respectful,
Exactly, exactly.
right? So you
Yeah.
have that end.
Mhm.
And like I had one guy and like he was respectful with his little like game of, and then so I'm like, great. I'm like, well, you know, I'm home. Like, what are you
Right, right,
doing?
right.
And he's like, oh, I don't have a car.
Oh, Malia. Okay. Yes. So,
And then the
this
third one,
okay.
hold on, and then I'm gonna let you
There's a third one.
respond.
Okay. Yep. I'm
Because
all
these
ears.
are to me the three buckets
Mm. Mm.
are the folks that just text you constantly, never want to set up a date. And then of course, then there's the guys you set up on the date, and then you have the whole date problem thing. But so
Exactly.
but so these are the buckets, sis. Or ones that'll be like, oh, by the way, I'm in an open relationship. Well, then why isn't then I want to talk to your wife. Then
Exactly.
put your wife on the hinge.
Put your wife on the hinge. I cannot. That is like that is great. But these are all the things that I'm hearing. These are all the things that I'm
And
hearing
it's
from like my
all the things that
friends and just
happen.
like,
But also,
wow.
what else are we supposed? Because like what I have found,
Mm.
right? Like, and I think it's also, we come from a certain age where like I like the peacocking. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
like looking cute, having some gentleman come up and ask me to buy me a drink. Like
Right.
we're in a generation where that's just not accepted in the same way. Like
Right. Oh,
where this
yeah.
like assertiveness and this sort of, and this flirtation, like, and again, it's
Wow.
evolved. So like I'm not trying to tell the sisters what they should want or not want,
Exactly. Right.
but it's different than how I like to my mating ritual, right? Like
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
different than, and again, I'm not saying that I loved, the way men used to just grab at us at clubs and shit.
Right.
But I
Right.
love
Oh,
that
yeah.
Method Man vibe of like licking
Hmm.
lips, buy me a drink, be
Right.
sweet. Like,
Licking
know
lips,
how
buy
Method
me a
Man
drink.
was to his wife,
Licking
and you
lips,
knew
buy
that.
me a drink. Hilarious.
Right.
Yes.
The Mary
Absolutely.
J. Blige Method Man
Hmm.
kind of love, right? Like,
Right.
that's what we were.
That's the type of love you're looking for. And it's not there. It's not
It's
there.
not
It's
on the
like,
hinge,
where are
sis.
you licking
Well, they
lips
have
and
wives,
buying a
and the
drink
sisters are
type
keeping them.
man?
I get it. You keep them, you keep them held down. I get it.
Oh
You know what
God.
I mean? The good ones, like you did. You saw a
Yeah.
good one. You said, "Boop, boop, boop."
Yeah,
You
right.
scooped him right up, took him right out the market, and amen to
I
you,
cannot.
sis.
Oh my God, Malia. That is that's and I don't know how to I don't know how to solve that. But I do hear from younger generation women too that are dating just like, same thing that you're saying. It's like the same thing that I'm hearing. So it must be men that are like, in their 20s all the way up to the 50s and 60s that are like doing the same thing.
Because
So
let me tell you one last story. And I think we actually should do. So I've been wanting to do an event, and maybe we do a podcast
yeah.
with, but like maybe even like somehow bring in like artists or
Yeah, like a little dating, a speed dating type
where
thing.
no, where
What?
we read each other's hinges as like a
That would
girlfriend
be
bathroom
so
hinge
much fun. Oh, Malia, we
and
would get
like
so many people for that. Like,
right. So let's
I
plan
have
on
oh
doing
my
that
god,
when I
we would
come
get
back.
so many people.
We'll get
Yes.
so many people for that. I love that. I love that.
Oh, that would be so
Okay,
fun. You guys let
let,
us know, our listeners. You guys
let
let
us
us know if
know.
you would wanna
Yes.
be a part of that.
Okay,
Email us.
last story.
Yes.
My girl's mom is in a aged living, like the 55 and older living communities, right? But
Uh-huh.
she's like 70 something. Her dad died a few years ago. So she's finally ready to date in this elder community, right? Like so
Okay,
it's by
mhm.
the way, another stat, STDs is going
Oh,
all
I
around the
know, the
elder
elder
community.
community is like
They are popping, okay?
they're popping.
So her mom
Yeah.
starts dating this dude.
Mhm.
Let's call him Carl. Okay. So, first of all, her and Carl are having this teenage love affair where the Carl is 89, 90. Like Carl's much older, but where the nurses are finding them in the height of oral, of a whole
Wait, what?
like because he had a nurse. So the nurse would come in and they
Oh
would
my god.
be okay, doing all the things, okay?
Mm. I've
So
heard so
then
many
the
yeah.
nurses had to call the parents. This is how my friend finds out about this, right? Like, because you have to be like, they've been caught, they've
Yes.
been running around, right?
Oh my
So
god.
then so then something happens to Carl. Carl gets sent to like the assisted living part of this
Mhm.
community. Girl, he ghosts her, starts dating a woman in the assisted living, and sends back whatever like thing he had that was hers via community center.
I cannot. So this is happening like
This
all
happened
age
at
groups.
all
All
the
age groups.
generations, ladies.
This is
So this
just
is why if
I
you find
cannot.
a good one, like if you are like a Tanisha, because I will also, and again, I'm not in their house, you know what I'm saying? But I
I
have met
cannot.
her husband and I have seen
I
her
am
life enough to say I believe him to be one of the good ones.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
so if
am
you
so
find that,
done.
lock that shit down, girl, and then
Lock it down. You
evolve
gotta lock it down.
and work it on and do all the
You
things.
gotta lock it
But
down. You
if
gotta lock it
you
down.
don't find it, don't lock it down.
Right. Absolutely not. Don't just settle because you just want a warm body next to you. Like,
And you
no.
want to be chosen. And I
Right.
literally have had times where like me and my girlfriend once, we like would just text each other. She lived in New York and we were actually like both going through a breakup at the same time. And we were
Oh,
just feeling very, no one's gonna pick us, very lonely, all the things.
yeah.
And so we started texting each other after work because one of the things we were saying, like, it's just really nice to be someone like, oh, babe, this is what happened in my day or whatever.
Right.
And we were like, you know what? We love each other. Like, not sexually, right? But like, we love each other.
Right.
And so it's like, text me about your day, sis. Like, I know it's like not exactly the same,
Right. But it's
but
still,
it's still a
yes.
place. And we did
Hmm.
that for like 3 months. And it was so nice
Really? Oh,
because,
that's really
yeah.
nice.
And it would just be like, oh my God. Or like, I would be like, oh my God, I have this crazy fucking meeting. And, like something that I would have texted to a partner.
Right.
And I have a few friends, a few of my girlfriends that we just invest in each other like that. Like I
Right.
have
That's
my
amazing.
girlfriends that I go to concerts with, right? I
Right.
have my girlfriends that I go on vacations with, right? Like, and it's like
That's so
golden
important.
girls, right? Like, and it's
Yeah.
not that we don't date or, right? Like when there
Right.
is dating or, one of my girlfriends, is now divorced and, so, right? Like we support one another and we're,
Hmm.
like, and when, so anyway, I just say that like, there's a lot about the intimacy that you can get. Like, I don't feel lonely. There are times when I wish I had dick, but
Right.
like, I
Right.
don't feel lonely. Because even my upstairs neighbors, like they're these fabulous gay men. And if I want to cuddle, I can go up and ask them for a hug and feel
Right.
assured
Right. Right.
to give me a hug.
Right.
And it's true love. They're not lying to me. They're not
Exactly.
trying to
Right.
just they don't even want to have sex with me. So they're
Right.
not trying to have sex with me. So they have a place to stay. You know
Exactly.
what
That's
I mean?
hilarious. I
Like,
cannot.
so stay
Hilarious.
honest, get the love that's honest and respectful. And, I mean, both of us are really happy.
Yes.
And this is bringing us to our purpose, power, pleasure journaling,
Yes.
which actually has something to do, or I'm going to shout out Living Arts Boston because um, events like this. So you're, journaling, but this is really, we should call it, maybe we call it reflection moment or something.
Yeah.
So I want you to think about the people who love you for real, right? The people who hold you down for real.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever possible, over the next, this holiday season, go out, do something fun like a living arts event if you're in
Yes.
the city,
Yes. Yes.
and have some fun. But then tell them that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them that you are an important person. You're one of my board of advisors. Be intentional about being in love and relationship with people who aren't always intimate.
Yes, exactly.
And spend some time letting them love on you, like
Yes.
you might not have someone in the house telling you you look good, but like I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you, like Tanisha is one of my girlfriends that's like, yes, girl, that looks good.
Yes.
You're not too old for that, sis. Put that on. Go walk.
Exactly.
And those things are really, really important. So we're
Yes.
talking about relationships as, intimate partner relationships. And I think the way we stop being so desperate for intimate partner relationships is by building the intimacy with the people who love us now. And you
Absolutely.
can do a lot of things. And you can also have ethical sex with friends
Mm-hmm.
if you do it ethically.
Right.
But just know it, these stats that we're seeing, the stats we're seeing about the apps, you
Yeah.
already got people who can love you in a lot of ways that you're hoping your man or woman do.
Exactly. I love that, Malia. Well said.
Yay.
Well said.
All right. Pleasure T says
Pleasure
pleasure
tea.
T.
Oh my goodness. Oh, pleasure tea. There's so many things. But I do want to talk about the Braxton. So I don't know if you've
So
ever
can you
watched the
get me caught
Braxton.
up because I just saw something. It was something Braxton from Tisa, and I was like, I don't have the time for another Braxton headline.
It is,
So tell me
oh
what's
my
going
God.
on, girl.
Oh my God, I love the show. And so the show, let me just say, it reminds me a lot of my family, my sisters, not the drama part and like all the things that they're going through, but just the fact that they're singers. And there's,
And the
well, there was five of them,
ambition.
there's four of us. But like the sisterhood and things like that, and the entertainment, all that stuff, it really just like reminds me of my family. And so I have been watching the Braxtons since they first came on. Like my sisters and I, we all watched them, but they're on their 10th season now. And so they have like, I think they're only like 2 episodes in, but when I tell you there's so much drama. And this is the thing, I want to see, because there's a lot of drama, but I also want to see there being a resolve with the drama. And I feel like there's no resolve with the drama, and it really like actually hurts me for them, because I don't think that they're getting to the bottom of what is actually wrong with the things that are happening in their family. And so recently one of their nieces came out on many different podcasts talking about things that happened in her childhood. And so it's come out as public, and she lives in Spain. But Tamar
Like
Braxton had her
she
on.
said.
Yeah, she was like, peace, I'm like, I have nothing to do with y'all. But she has been talking bad about the family, and like, just saying things that happened in her childhood and things that she really had to get over, and things like that. And no one has like reached out to her or anything. So Tamar Braxton reached out to her, and she wanted to have her on her podcast. But Tamar found out that there was a cease and desist sent by one of the family members. And so in this episode, she's talking, she texts all the sisters and was like, I got a cease and desist. What is going on? Who sent this? Like, why? No one responded to her. So then they're having this dinner, and she's at the table, and she's like, and there's so many other things happening, but she's like, you guys try to shut my business down. I have a cease and desist. Who did this? Like, I know that you guys did this. And so they're all saying, no, we had nothing to do with it, all this stuff. And she's like, well, someone, you guys are the only ones that have my address. It was delivered to my house. And so there was all this stuff. And like all these things came out during this big blow up. Toni Braxton, which is like very mild and meek and just like very calm all the time, she ended up getting up, pushing the table, and like wanting to fight with Tamar Braxton that was sitting beside her. And I was like, for Toni Braxton to get out of her element in that way, there must be something really, really happening that's like, there's just so much. So you guys have to watch it. If you're not into, the Braxtons or reality TV, just go on TikTok or YouTube and just see some of the shorts on like what I'm talking about, because there's
Well,
so
right,
much
because I
to it.
knew there was beef,
Oh yeah, there's been beef
and
for years,
right,
but
and Tamar Braxton, I get the feeling that she's a little bit of the instigators of beefs.
she is. And she's very aggressive in conversation, and she's very theatrical too. So she's dramaful. Tamar is dramaful. But I feel like a lot of it comes from, and she's talked about a lot of it coming from childhood and not being protected in certain situations. And it's just rolled over into so much more now. And so I feel like, and then a lot of the sisters, when they talk about Tamar, they're like, oh yeah, Tamar's just like that. That's just how she is. And no one pays attention to it. No one tries to like talk about what we can do better. So I just feel like there's just so many things happening with this family. They need an intervention. I want to see an intervention. I really want to see an intervention for the
Well,
show.
and this is part of the ongoing problem with how reality
Yeah.
television is going. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but I almost won a reality show. Did we
No,
ever
what?
talk about this?
You never. Oh my God, Malia, you've never mentioned this ever. What
I
reality
never
show?
really talk about it because thank God it didn't stay on for long. And so there's no real archives on it because it was
Oh
really
my
before the internet stuff.
Do
But
we
it was
know the
called
name of the show?
American Candidate. Of course, I know the name of the show. It was
Okay,
called
okay, okay. I'm
American
like, what?
Candidate. It was
American
called
Candid?
American Candidate, and it was like we were running for president. But
Oh
even
my
back
God.
then, like the way I was able to see how what they filmed and then what they put in the actual
Mm-hmm.
episode.
Yeah,
And I
drama.
was 26 at the time. I had a tongue ring. My campaign manager was this fabulous, gay guy who ends up being like this civil rights leader, Rashad Robinson.
What?
And so that was our, like we were at then the Gen Xers were young. We were the young ones.
Right.
And so, like we would go to clubs and this is the work I was doing with Mass Vote anyway. But
Okay,
anyway, I
okay.
say all that to say that the way they would tell the story and the way they pitted me against the more like Hillary Clinton white girl who was
Really?
around my
Wow.
age,
Yeah.
but, was more,
Yeah. We
more
know that television does that. They pull the
exactly.
drama, they want ratings,
Exactly.
they
And
want
so
all the
even
things.
right, and so now that was before this, so I can't imagine what these producers
Yeah.
when they're because everyone has their own producer,
Right.
so they're building the storyline and how they're building you up and what they tell you, and then they ply you full of alcohol for these sit
Right.
downs
Right. Yeah.
and just let the things roll. So yeah, like we hope for interventions. I have another intervention hope for Pleasure Tea. So look at this, like we were on the same wavelength. But
Mhm.
when Northwest was born,
Mm. Mhm.
I mean, she was just this little peanut of a thing.
I know.
And
So
I
cute.
just asked for protection because we cannot pick our parents.
I
And
know.
while she will never have to ask for a physical thing,
Right.
there's some things that even hundreds of millions of dollars
Yeah.
cannot replace.
Right.
And I'm assuming those face tattoos are stickies
Right.
because
Because I've
I
seen it.
don't think Kim would let her do anything to her face. I think Kim is too vain about the face.
I think that Northwest is out of control. I don't know if Kim
Wait,
really
so
has
wait,
any
so,
control.
so you think those might be real tattoos on
No,
her?
no, I don't think they might be real, but I think
Oh, but
that
wait,
if
but you think
North was like,
regardless,
yeah, like
Northwest
if she
will
in
go
2
out
years,
and
if she wanted
do
to do it, I think that Kim literally, I don't think she has any control
had
over that.
control
I
over.
don't.
And that breaks my heart
And that's
because
crazy. Yeah,
as an
it does.
auntie who like watches my, and has nieces that are her age and has nieces who are older,
Yeah.
and, some who have had to go to rehab at a very young age,
Oh my God.
right? Like, there's certain
It's so sad.
it so I wanted to bring it up because I know Pleasure Tea is like, I was like, this isn't pleasure though, but this is like a gossip space. And
Right.
for me, the gossip I want to talk about is what we gonna do to protect these children.
I, I know.
Because after the Cardi and Nicki thing,
Oh my
so I'm
God.
just wishing intervention and health and love for all of us.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not judging any of us. Like, we all, can fuck up, can show up in bad
Right.
ways, can hurt
Mhm.
young people unintentionally. Like, and these are all people who need healing,
They really do.
and who
Yes.
unfortunately have the money to also play it all out in public, which I think is
Right.
additional drama and trauma. So,
Yeah.
we watch all these things unfold because there is a spectacle to it.
Mhm.
And, but we also, just like Tanisha said, like, we
I
got
want
to
to see
hope
some
for
healing.
interventions
Yes.
for these folks
It's
because
so
we watch
bad.
them, we do love them. Like, I think about Little Northwest and, like, and I mean, I don't love her the way, I love my own
Right, right, right.
folks, but like, just a humanity love.
Exactly. You just feel bad. Like, you just feel like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" And you can just imagine what she's been exposed to and what the conversations that she's been a part of, that she's heard, that she's it's just it's a lot. It's
Right.
a
And
lot.
like you say, and
Yeah.
even having access, because
Yeah.
like, like when I'm sure she has her own credit card, like I'm sure
Oh,
she
yeah.
has things
Yeah.
that allow her to, as you said, to do things without checking
Yeah.
in a way that we just couldn't
Right.
because we lived in the same. I mean, I'm not saying they don't live in the same house, but you know what I'm like. I
Yeah.
can't hide
Different.
things.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Like we didn't
Mhm.
have a computer, but if we would have, it would have been in the kitchen, just
Right.
like where the phone was, because there was,
Exactly. Yeah,
like everybody
absolutely.
was using it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's so true. But you guys go and watch it. Our listeners, you guys please, watch some things. Let us know what you think about it. I love the Braxtons. I really do, as a family,
Yep.
as individuals too, but I just feel like there has to be healing. There's so much going on with that family. There's so much going on with Tamar, even besides what I just mentioned.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, because I
There's a
mean,
lot. There's a lot.
there's a lot going on there,
There's a lot.
so we just don't want people to exploit their trauma for clicks and views and
Right. Like, I
digital
wanna see, because they
hypes.
almost, you know what? They almost, and I'll say this quickly because I know, like, we're running over time, but they almost had an intervention with Ayanla. Do you know Ayanla? Yes,
Mhm.
Ayanla Van Zandt.
Mhm.
I love her, but they were on her show, and she was about to get to the core problem. Tamar blew up, was so disrespectful to Ayanla. They had
That
to
she
stop
left,
filming.
right.
She literally went off, and
Right,
because they were getting to the core. Yeah.
because she wasn't gonna let him get to the core.
Yeah. So, and that was, like, really heartbreaking for me. I was like, "Oh my God," they almost were getting to, like, where they
And
were all being heard. They were all able to speak their piece and, like, come to a resolve, and it just blew up. So,
it also just highlights, like, whether it's the Braxtons, the Kardashians, the Bezoses, right? Like,
yeah,
money actually doesn't give you the things
absolutely
like,
not.
if you have enough money to not be homeless, right? Like, everyone just try to get that much because
Exactly.
like this idea of wanting hundreds of like they're kind of miserable and
They're
like
very miserable.
it's not,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not what you want. So
No, it's not what you
all
think.
right, sis, let's wrap everyone home. You got an affirmation for us today? I have one.
Yeah, let's hear your
Okay,
affirmation.
I'll do
Yeah.
affirmations. So again, getting to relationships, I am worthy of love and respect, and I attract happy and loving relationships. And I'm so glad and happy that I attracted you, sis, in my life.
Yes, I know, Malia. I know. I'm so happy that we found each
Mhm.
other.
Exactly. You know, because your girlfriends are soulmates too.
Absolutely.
And we can't,
Yes,
we can't forget that. So,
absolutely.
all right, next week. And by the way, y'all, just so you know, um, we are working our way to be getting to actually interviewing folks. So what we're doing
Yes,
right now is we're doing our practice, we're getting our vibes in. But next week we're going to be talking about careers and financial independence.
yes.
So be ready. And
Okay.
we're actually gonna tell you some tips about what things that we do around our company and
Yes,
jump into that. So we're so happy that you joined us and let us know, send us your questions, send us your comments, send us your
please
pleasure
do.
tea. We love
We'd
hearing
love
from
to hear from you.
you. Bye everybody.
Bye.